So, welcome everyone to our final installment on uh, world religions. So, in the earlier screencast, we focused on the Abrahamic religions. Now they stemmed from quite literally that one individual, Abraham. In this screencast, we're actually going to focus more on a geographic location, and that would be the Indus River Valley and the Punjab region. This is a great example in the importance of a cultural hearth, or the geographic origin of a specific culture, religion, language, something like that. So obviously this one we're going to be focusing on religion, but we're going to see how geographically, because they share a same hearth or same geographic origin, how much they borrow from each other as far as beliefs go. So let's go ahead and take a look and see. Here we are. This is the Indus River Valley here. You can see it pretty distinctly in the satellite image. This is the Punjab up in northern India. This is what they call the breadbasket of India, a lot of agriculture. But pretty much here between the Indus River Valley, the Punjab, and this is the Ganges River Valley here. Three religions kind of stem from this region. And because of that, they really share a lot of, have a lot of shared beliefs. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. The first of which is Hinduism. It is the oldest living religion. It is a polytheistic religion, so they believe in multiple gods. And it is so old, we don't know exactly the origin of it. It's kind of before our ability to have that kind of historical record. Within this, there's no direct hierarchy or universal set of beliefs, and that really says a lot about the geography. When it's wedged up in the mountains like that, depending on which valley you're in between these different mountain ranges, it's going to kind of change, and that's true for Buddhism as well. So rather than being one single, religion, it's actually sometimes referred to more as a family of religions with a lot of different interpretations of that religion. But they do have a set of values called Dharma, and that is certainly a moral outlook on life. And that's, all the different codes of morality which Hindus live by. And karma reinforces that. So that translates into action. A lot of that has to be, considered when we talk about reincarnation. And we're going to see this concept again, the idea that once, life is more of a cycle than it is, kind of a start and end point, and then you exit into some type of divine realm. You actually come back into this earth. If you're good in this life, you'll be rewarded in the next. If you're not, the deal. So let's go ahead and take a look at Buddhism as well. This one, we can pinpoint who this comes from, a man named Siddhartha Gautama, to about 2,500 years. It is not, sorry about the typo, not a theistic religion. So rather than being obsessed or focusing on a God figure, the goal instead is to seek personal enlightenment, and that enlightenment is what they refer to as a state of nirvana, and it's, I guess, comparable to like a type of heaven, even though it's more of a state than it is a location necessarily. Again, they've got, even though it's got a lot of different interpretations, it really comes down to following the Four Noble Truths, and the leader of which is the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama is a person who has reached enlightenment and therefore could escape this cycle of reincarnation, going back to this idea of Hinduism. So that's borrowed into Buddhism, and escape that reincarnation, but actually chooses to come back to help others reach enlightenment as well. They are not necessarily mission-based. They're not going to go out and preach and try and spread the religion, but it is universalizing. The goal is to get everyone to follow the Four Noble Truths. And there you go. There's your photo of the current Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama. Okay, and our last religion that we're going to talk about is Sikhism. This is our youngest religion here on Earth, at least youngest world religion. It was founded in the 16th century, so that's the 1500s. It is a monotheistic religion, but I would almost compare it more to a mystical understanding. And mystical means something that you can't really necessarily define. In Western traditions, God is a pretty omnipowerful, omniscient, all-knowing type of God who is a pretty definitive figure. Whereas in Sikhism, this one God is harder to define who or where that God is. Rather, they see God in nature and in ourselves, in human beings. Again, the focus is on living a good life. Again, going back to those ideas of Dharma, and they carry all the way through Buddhism and Sikhism, so you can see how they borrow from the different religions. Karma and reincarnation also emphasized in Sikhism as well, all throughout these three religions. And here's this great quote from the Sikhist mentality is, whatever you plant, you shall harvest, right? One last little tidbit, 60%, there's a recent poll that came out, and 60% of Americans admitted to knowing nothing about Sikhism, had not really heard anything about it. So even though it is one of the world religions, it's really relatively obscure to a lot of people. So, part of being a good global citizen is knowing a little bit about the world and the world religions. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped you out in preparation for your test.